Welcome to the Roy Morgan Weekly Update, and today we have some good news. After more than 3 years languishing at a low level, consumer confidence has finally broken out of a long slump. And business confidence remains in positive territory, above 100, but there's concern on one front. Inflation expectations, they've increased to their highest for 6 months. But first, consumer confidence. The latest ANZ Roy Morgan consumer confidence readings for the first week of August shows good news, with the index increasing 3.9 points to 90.6. Now, although this is still a low reading, below 100, it's the first time the index has broken above the mark of 90 since late May 2022, the week the Albanese government was first elected. This ends a record-breaking slump over 3 years, during which the index averaged only 82.1. The positive result comes after the ABS released June quarterly inflation figures last week, showing annual inflation dipping to only 2.1%, its lowest for 4 years, since March 2021, during the middle of the pandemic. This drop in official inflation means the Reserve Bank is almost certain to cut interest rates next week. The increase in consumer confidence was widespread, with the index increasing in all states and across all housing subgroups: renters, homeowners, and people with a mortgage. The biggest driver of the increase in consumer confidence was more positive views of personal financial situations, people thinking their own personal financial situation was better. But it's really important to note that all 5 index questions improved this week. However, here's that note of caution to consider. This week, ANZ Roy Morgan inflation expectations increased 0.3% to 5.2%, its highest level for 6 months since January 2025. This means Australians now expect inflation of about 5.2% over each of the next 2 years. Now, although official inflation figures are at 4-year lows, Australians are clearly still concerned inflation could increase over the next couple of years in an increasingly uncertain international economic environment. And now, what about businesses? How are businesses feeling? Australian business confidence for the month of July increased by 0.6 points to 103, just above the neutral level of 100. The modest increase to business confidence in July came despite the Reserve Bank's decision to leave interest rates unchanged in early July. This Roy Morgan Business Confidence series is based on interviews with 1,200 businesses each and every month to gauge their views on the company's prospects, as well as their assessment of the broader Australian economy. And driving business confidence higher in July was more confidence from businesses about their own situation, their own business situation. Now, 32.2% of businesses say they're better off financially than a year ago. That's an increase of 5.8% on just a month ago. 40.9% of businesses say they expect to be better off financially this time next year. That's up 1.3%. In addition, a majority of 62% of businesses expect good times for the Australian economy over the next year. Only 35.9% expect bad times. Now, over the 2 months of June and July together, the most confident industries were, first of all, accommodation and food services, which recorded a business confidence of 123.1, and electricity, gas, water and waste on 121.1. At the other end of the scale, we have the agriculture, forestry and fishing industry with business confidence of only 71.9, way below 100. And transport, postal and warehousing on 81.1, both well below any other industries. And now we take a look across the Tasman to the political situation in New Zealand. In July, the Roy Morgan poll shows the main governing party, National, on 31%, level with the opposition, Labor Party, also on 31%. Mirroring the situation in Australia, both major parties are struggling to attract widespread support. And this is the 10th straight month that both parties have less than a third of total support. Support for National's governing partner, NZ First, increased 1.5% to 9.5%. That's its highest support since the NZ election. The overall picture was little changed in July, with the National-led government on 51%, while 46% support the parliamentary opposition, including 31% for Labor, 11.5% for the Greens, and 3.5% for the Maori Party. And that's a wrap. Thanks for your interest in Roy Morgan's latest results. For more detail on the topics covered in this video, head straight to the Roy Morgan website. I'll be back next week to bring you the latest data for consumer confidence, inflation expectations, and we'll be looking at the latest estimates on Australian unemployment, along with other key indicators. Thanks for listening.